What's going on, chat? What's going on, man? I want to get into this Nolan Wells bombshell. But boom, bombs going off, bombs getting blew up. Nolan Wells. Condolences to Nolan Wells family. Um, this is a sad, tragic moment. Um, condolences to the family of Nolan Wells. I want to get into this content. Um, yeah, man. This is very sad. It doesn't make any sense. What happened to this young man? Um, you guys, yeah, as y'all know, I've been tuned in to everything that has been going on with this Nolan Wells situation. It's very disappointing to me, irritating as well. Um, and we not liking nothing that's going on. And Nancy Grace, shout out Nancy Grace. Um, Oh yeah, this is my YouTube channel, the GS3 Report. You guys like, comment, subscribe. The GS3 Report. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to the GS3 Report. You guys, you guys make sure y'all do that. We about to get into this content, this Nolan Wells content. You guys get in here, get in here. Please, you guys get in here. Hey, I'm on hold with Section 8, nigga. I'm gonna call you right back. I mean, call me right back in probably like 40 minutes or something. Okay. Okay, chat. I'm trying to let more people come in here right now. Um, everybody get in here, get in here. Everybody get in here. Okay, chat. What's going on with y'all, man? What's going on, man? Y'all ready to get into this Nolan Wells situation? Or y'all ready?
Bombshell tonight in the Nolan Wells investigation. Tonight, a Nolan Wells phone evidence torpedo. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
All but I believe one took a polygraph, and from what was told to me, that they all passed.
Nancy, my clients have not taken a polygraph test.
Nobody's guilty and everybody's a suspect. We don't know the truth yet, but we will.
We have had multiple witnesses reach out to us, two confirmed witnesses that saw Nolan Wales on the island around 6 p.m. on July 4th, well after the Triton, as you said, left around 4:30. And so those witnesses have went to investigators, they've talked to the police, and they've done what they're supposed to do. These witnesses know Nolan. They've known him for a long time. They were able to make a positive ID, and they told that to investigators. They told them that from the very start.
What witnesses? Where? Who, what, where, why, and when? That is a renowned trial lawyer named Tyler Cox, and he is representing the acquaintances of Nolan's that took him to Horn Island on their boat, the Triton. Curious, we've seen, hey, let's pull up that video control room of everyone getting on the boat before they went to Horn Island. It's very interesting, evidentiarily. Okay, here we go. This is from the Officer Tatum show, and you're about to see people. There they are down at the right. And there's actual video of people see the boat at about 1 o'clock. Oh, there we go. Excellent shot, guys. People are getting on, people getting off. And it keeps going to where you see everybody that got on the boat. But here's my big question tonight, before I can even get to the alleged witnesses that Tyler Cox is telling us about. Dave Mack, joining me, Crime Stories investigative reporter. Can I see the video again, please? Dave Mack, I'm seeing everybody preparing the Triton to go out, preparing to go out. And this shot, they're down at about 3 o'clock. Okay, keep looking. 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And then suddenly you switch to a different camera. There you go. That's the boat. So, Dave Mack, where is the evidence? Where is the video of the boat? Is that Nolan right there? Walking along the light blue shorts, and at that time, I don't know, white shirt. I think that's Nolan right there. Dave Mack, where is the evidence, the video evidence of them coming back?
Nancy, we have not seen evidence of them coming back. Remember, three boats caravan out to the island, and then we have different stories about when they arrived back on the mainland.
Still, where the grass is greener and the crips is meaner. That's no. Wait, wait, look. Where's Gio, man? Wait, what store? Man, look. Gio from the shop. Man, what shop, man? Come on. Damn, man, I'm really, man, y'all. Look, if you know me, you know my memory bad, mud. My memory is bad, mud. Gio, what's the dealio, man? Look, man, we got this Nolan Wells situation. You got me tongue twisted. We got this Nolan Wells situation going on, and it's getting bad, man. Make sure you like this live stream, share this live stream, subscribe to this channel, man. Thank you for being in this live stream. I appreciate you. Shout out my boy Gio from the pawn shop. Y'all know that's my big dog right there. Come on, Mud. That's all you have to say is the pawn shop, man. I know a few Geos, man. I thought you were talking about like Geo from Grape Street. I'm right here like, man, my boy Geo from Grape. But you was, man, come on, cuz. Where the grass is greener and the crips is meaner. You already know, cuz. Big C's, cuz. Let's get into this. See, look, you got me cripping on the Nolan Wells situation. This situation is serious. Let's get into this, Nolan Wells. You got to pay attention.
Land, but we don't have video of any of
So we
them
don't
showing
have
backup.
that video.
Correct.
Okay, let's circle back to the alleged witnesses that he's a great trial lawyer, by the way. Wins a lot of cases. This Tyler Cox, he's representing the acquaintances that went to Horn Island with Nolan. And I've got to get to the phone torpedo, but he's not the only one that says they have witnesses. Listen.
And these two witnesses, two very reliable, very credible, and very upstanding members of the community, they saw Nolan. And they've known Nolan for years. There's no chance that they made a mistake. And by the way, this can be corroborated through other evidence, other eyewitness accounts. And that's the end of it right there.
That's from the Officer Tatum Show. Susan Hendricks joining me, veteran, investigative journalist, author of Down the Hill, My Descent into the Double Murder in Delphi. What witnesses? I understand that there's video and witnesses. One places him there at 5, one places him there at 6. Significance, the Triton, and we can show this by GPS. They are right about this, left Horn Island around 4:30. So if he is spotted, and you can confirm to me that he is spotted there at 5 or 6, if that video has a timestamp on it, and I can corroborate that, or I can corroborate the witnesses weren't drunk. Hey, let's see that video control room again of Nolan bent over, and all you can see is his blue trunk right there. Now, that's not a very good eyewitness right there, okay? Do I think that's him? Yeah, I do. I do think that's Nolan. But I would tear that up in court. Tear it to shreds. There's all sorts of, you know what? Hold on, Susan Hendricks. Greg Morse joining me, veteran trial lawyer, founder of Morse Legal. He's in the Southern District of Florida, former West Palm Beach public defender, and author of The Untested. Greg, in Florida, as in Georgia, as in this jurisdiction of Mississippi, the code, the official code of Mississippi, annotated, lays out how you establish or cross-examine, same thing, same criteria, an eyewitness, such as, I memorized them. How far were you away from the witness? From the target. What was the lighting? Do you wear glasses? Were you wearing them that night? Were you inebriated? Had you smoked pot? How can you prove that to me? Did anything obstruct your view? Was it daytime or nighttime? What time of the day was it? What were the conditions? You go on and on and on. You can rattle them off, right? I know you can. So
Absolutely.
how do I know the eyewitness can't identify anything except the back of his legs, like in that video?
Well, that's the thing. There's no details about any identification. It's just a broad statement that other people saw Nolan after the boat left. The video you just showed shows from a view from behind of someone bending over. Did the person have sunglasses on? Were they familiar with who they were actually looking at and identifying? How much had they drank during the day? It was a party scene. That's what usually these boat spots are. There's one by me in West Palm Beach, very similar setup called Peanut Island. So most people also, right, they don't think something's important until after the fact. They're just going about their day, notice people walking by. So from what you showed, that's not a very strong identification from that position, but there's no details.
While I've got you, Greg Morse, let me throw another question at you. And look, I'm not wearing a prosecution or a defense hat. As you know, I'm a crime victim. I would say I'm coming at it from that angle. But I was very disturbed, Greg, when I got wind that there is no criminal investigation. It's been said over and over and over. Why not? We don't know how he died. For instance, if he did have water in his lungs, okay, maybe he did drown. But how did he get in the water? Did he fall in the water? Was somebody, wrestling with him in the water and they held him down. They went, oh my stars, I killed him and left. Did he hit his head?
Well,
I mean, there's a lot more to it than saying, oh yeah, he drowned. How can someone state there is no criminal investigation? I understand a grand jury is about to be convened. That doesn't mean there's a crime, but doesn't that suggest to you a grand jury inside the Superior Courthouse, inside the district attorney's office, would suggest there is a criminal investigation?
well, it would potentially lead someone to believe that, yeah, a criminal investigation was undergoing. However, when we look at how this has played out over the last 6 weeks, how law enforcement has acted, they haven't seized Nolan Wells's phone at this point. In a criminal investigation, law enforcement's going to use those tools to get this information.
Are you
this could
sitting
just be
down,
a
Morris?
drowning. I'm sitting down, and this could just be a drowning. And that's why they're looking at
Yes,
it
it
that way,
could.
because
Nobody's
nothing's told
fighting
them
with
it's
you yet.
but everything's not a crime.
Oh,
It doesn't
my
have to be
stars.
investigated as
You're
a crime.
still talking. We've already established that. Here's the other, you know what? I'm going to let you think about what you just said. I'm going to go to Jeff Shetler joining us. Guys, this is a special guest joining us out of Edisto Island, South Carolina. Former police canine handler, author of 5 books. Last one, 2 weeks to operational tracking. I like this one. Red Dog Rising, Canine Trailing, The Straightest Path, Tactical Tracker Teams, The Tao of Trailing. He is at GAK9.com. Question, I get this a lot from the viewers, so you can put it to rest. How long does a person have to be dead before a cadaver dog will pick up on that scent?
Well, honestly, a dog's going to pick up on the live or dead scent as soon as they're out there. So the time frame, from hours to a day or so is really not a big deal. It doesn't matter what type of dog you have that's looking for humans. Within that first 24 hours, either type of dog, a live find or a deceased person dog, is going to be viable. They're going to pick up on anything that's there. The big issue that we have here is primarily the contamination. After the fact, if the dog was placed at the scene initially to search for our victim, then the chances are the success rate would actually be pretty good. The island is very, very small. There's not a lot of hiding places. There's not a lot of places he could go. On the other hand, inside the water might be a different story. We have tide issues and everything else that are occurring there.
So you bring in a scent dog. I would assume you bring in a scent dog first, but the issue with that, in my mind, probatively, like what can I use? How can I use that trial? What's it going to prove for me? I already know Nolan was on the boat to start with, so of course the dog is going to pick up Nolan's scent on the boat. That's not hard to figure out. So I know a scent dog is going to pick up on that, but a cadaver dog. What should have been done immediately with a cadaver dog. And I'm putting this out there not to say woulda, coulda, shoulda. Maybe it happened and we haven't been informed. The press, the media, has no right to information in an ongoing investigation. So this may have been done and we haven't been told. I can only pray. So regarding a cadaver dog, what should have been done, Jeff Shetler, and how should it have been done, and when should it have been done?
Lock down the location. Don't let anybody on there. Get the dogs in. See what type of reaction they have. Every second that goes by, every minute that goes by, every hour that goes by will have an impact on the dog work when it comes to age of the material, age of the odor, and more importantly, what your contamination factor is. And this is the one big thing that nobody ever really thinks about. That they think the dogs are going to be these magical creatures that detect everything that you're looking for. But that's going to be mitigated dramatically by any type of human activity on the scene. That's the first thing that has to happen. So if you're going to use dogs, you need to get them out there right away. They actually have to be one of the first things on scene.
Hi guys, Nancy Grace here. If you are a homeowner, you've probably thought, should I call American Financing to refinance and pay off this debt? But you don't because of your $100. That's not in all, that's a month. By using their equity to pay off the credit card debt. using their home equity to pay off credit card debt. No upfront fees. It costs you nothing to find out what you could be saving. And if you start today, you may be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. American Financing, 866-888-0344. Repeat, 866-888-0344. Or just go online to americanfinancing.net/Nancy. Disclaimer, NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org. APR for rates in the 5S start at 6.327%.
Don, what's the word, mud? What's the word, man? We ain't sitting on the curb, man. We trying to get to the third, man. What's up, Don, man? What's going on with you, man? That's my big mod in the building. Really big Don in the building. Yeah, man, you see what we got going on. You know, I'm really invested in this Nolan Wells case. I'm very disappointed at what's been going on. So we finna see what's they say they got some phone information, some going on. It's a bombshell just dropped. Let's see what's going on.
For well 038 W100, Professor Forensics. Straight out to Joseph Scott Morgan, Professor of Forensics, Jacksonville State University. You can find his hit YouTube show, Body Bags, with Joe Scott Morgan. But most important, he is a death investigator with over 10,000 death scenes under his belt. Isn't it true, Joe Scott, that a cadaver dog, aka a human remains detection dog, can absolutely detect the scent of a dead person as early as 45 minutes to 3 hours after the death because of the cellular breakdown in organic compounds? Could you translate what I just said, which I've said in court before, into regular people talk?
Yeah, so our building blocks are cells, and so the cells begin to break down. And you're right. People don't understand that human decomposition literally begins at a cellular level the moment we're gone, okay? So the two compounds that you're looking for here when it comes to cadaver searches utilizing canine assets are putrescine and cadaverine, or cadaverine as well. And what they are, they're an organic compound that combine as a result of the cellular breakdown, and it gives off a particular odor. Now, to what Jeff was saying just a moment ago, if there is some type of, let's just say, blood evidence, all right, on the boat, that I pray this boat was locked down quickly. If there's a point of impact, say, for instance, on a railing, any of the gunnels in there, those areas in there, and you have blood deposition, guess what happens, Nancy? That blood begins to break down.
Okay, I noticed I can't keep the mic on while I'm recording. Uh, 'Cause it echo. I want to keep the mic on, so I have to keep unmuting it and stuff. But I guess we'll just have to keep pausing it, and I have to unmute it, you guys.
Just like a body does, okay? So you'll
So it don't echo. I don't want it echoing on you guys.
have the scent that is there, and it is wholly different than tracking a human, all right? Now, where else would you find it? Well, we know that Nolan's remains are allegedly found on the shore, right? They're allegedly right there. Now, we also know, and remember what the second autopsy said, he's in an advanced state of decomposition at this point in time. So the trick is here trying to
Well, that's when he's
understand.
found on the beach. Hold on.
Exactly.
Joe Scott, that's when he's found on the beach. But my understanding, and of course, I'm just a trial lawyer. I'm not a canine expert like Jeff Shetler is, but
Yeah.
within minutes to hours, minutes, dogs can pick up on the scent of human decomp. It starts almost immediately, and the dog can smell that.
You can say within 45 minutes, but I have to tell you, there is a lot of variability here, dependent upon a lot of environmental conditions, even the individual
that is decomposing. That's going to play into it. So that's not a static number. It's a bracketed number. So you don't know how long it's going to take for this to actually begin to develop.
We also know that well-trained dogs like Jeff Shetler works with can still hit on decomp, even microscopic particles in soil, long after the body has been removed, sometimes years or even decades later, depending on the condition. But as Shetler just pointed out, in these conditions where the surface of the boat is exposed to water, to wind, to contamination, not so much. I'm going to circle back to Jeff in just a moment regarding any possibility of tracking human decomp or human scent on Horn Island. The thing is, we know he was there, so we know the dogs will hit on him being there alive, but what about dead? I also want to clear something else up, and this is really important. Greg Morse, these acquaintances that went out on the beach, I'm not razor locked on them. I'm looking at them. I'm looking at everybody. Who are these two witnesses? If they are telling the truth, that Nolan Wells was on Horn Island at either 5 or 6 o'clock, then the acquaintances on the Triton are in the clear. Because Morse, I know, based on their GPS, what time they left the island. So we have to keep our minds open as to what, who, what, where, why, the whole shebang. We can't lock in on those acquaintances if they had already left and he's still on the island. Is that true? I don't know. But it could be, right? Many an investigation has failed because the prosecutor did not keep their mind open as to potential suspects, right?
Well, that's 100% right. You know, the police have to keep an open mind here. It's not even a criminal investigation. So 6 weeks approximately has gone by. The folks that were on the boat with Nolan, nothing has come out even remotely to indicate they were involved in some foul play at this point at all. They're just people that went out to this island with their friend. It appears their friend may have stayed afterwards, and maybe a tragedy happened. Maybe something else happened that wasn't involving them.
A tragedy did happen. Nolan Wells is dead, and I'm going to find out how. But I tell you what,
but you're talking about 6 weeks.
About
this is
why no polygraphs have been taken. I'm just very curious.
But why?
But many
why?
defense
For
lawyers
what?
wouldn't dream of letting their
They're
client
not
take calls.
suspects.
Let me get to
But
the phone.
Nancy, you're turning what's not a criminal investigation and want the trappings of one.
Stop it.
But when you talk about
I see
polygraph,
his lips moving. I hear. Okay, yeah, just keep him just like that. Yeah, that's the way I like Morse. Don't hurt your head, Morse. Don't hurt your head. Okay. Susan Hendricks. Oh, my stars, Hendricks. The family is now seemingly being accused of wrongdoing because they haven't handed the phone over yet. What happened back on, I've got a big note here, phone July 15. Isn't that when the family had a meeting and said, yes, you can have the phone, but they want independent examiners there at the same time, right? Tell me July 15, what happened?
July 15th, the attorney for the parents of Nolan met and said, yes, we want to give over the phone, but we want someone in the middle here, someone from the outside, an expert to analyze the phone. It appeared everyone agreed. Then all of a sudden they get a letter saying, we want the phone and you have 24 hours to send it over. The DA sent that. And the parents were out of town and said, wait, we don't have the time to do that. Hence the narrative that they're not cooperating. Now, they say, Nolan's parents, look, we have our experts on standby. This week, pick a day. And not to mention, on the 19th would have been Nolan's 19th birthday. A difficult week for the family, but they say, hey, we'll give up his cell phone. We want someone, a mediator, if you will, an expert in the middle.
Well, this is interesting, what you just said. Joe Scott Morgan, professor of forensics, Jacksonville State University, I've been there, and it is a world-class Crim Pro division. Whole building, whole floor is set up just to recreate scenes. I was so impressed by it. Joe Scott has worked with me on multiple recreations, intricate recreations at Jacksonville State University to try to figure out, is what the defendant is saying, does that make sense? Is what the state is saying, does that make sense? Just all sorts of things you can learn from actually recreating the scene. That said, Joe Scott, I have examined evidence myself at the crime lab, and you know the crime lab out on Panthersville Road is amazing, state of the art, with the defense attorney there. And I typically would not allow a defense team to examine the evidence unless I was there. Do I think they're going to do something nefarious? Maybe, probably not. But I don't want them to even touch it if it could somehow, compromise the evidence. And it can. A lot of the times, even touching it can compromise the evidence. So this is not unheard of, that the family wants an independent investigator there when the phone is searched.
Yeah, you're right. And it happens. Nancy, I've actually been in autopsy suites with defense attorneys, believe it or not. All manner of people come through the labs over the years as an independent set of eyes. So let's just say that they do, in fact, have an independent individual examine this phone. And I think this question goes back to you as a prosecuting attorney. Would any kind of findings that were on that phone, would they be negated as a result of the state not doing? If you wanted to move forward as using this evidence in a criminal prosecution, perhaps, would it invalidate it since the state is not doing it? And what are you going to find? And how many hands are going to be on this phone at that given time?
Are you saying that if the defense did their own investigation of the phone and the state did not, would that negate the defense findings?
Yeah, because remember, we've got a grand jury that's going to be impaneled, allegedly.
HELLYES. Because the first thing, if the shoe was on the other foot, I would do is, isn't it true? I gave you the opportunity to review the phone. Isn't that true? On this date. And you didn't do it. So don't come.
You guys, I'm gonna make me a sandwich real quick, a little jelly sandwich. I'll be right back.
Complaining now. Oh yeah, that would be a matter for cross-exam. You're on cross-examination. Who is our next sponsor? Well, here is a probative clue. Meow. Smalls makes fresh human-grade food designed for cats to thrive, while Big Pet Food uses cheap filler. Smalls features 80% animal protein and zero artificial junk. 88% of cat parents report better digestion, softer fur, and more energy for their cats to play. It's a healthy investment your cat will love. If you want to invest in your cat's health, Smalls is giving you 60% off your cat's first order. 60% off plus free shipping and free treats for life when you go to smalls.com/Nancy. SMALLS, smalls.com/Nancy. 60% off your first order, free shipping, and free treats for life when you head to smalls.com/Nancy. Thanks, Smalls, and thank you from our cat, Cinnamon. Joe Scott, Morse, everybody jump in if you've got a question for Scott Eicher. Let me tell you who Eicher is. Digital forensics expert, founding member of the FBI Cellular Analysis Survey Team, historical cellular analysis expert, former FBI, 22 years, former homicide, Norfolk, Virginia Police Department, works multiple cases, and currently with Precision Cellular Analysis. I could go on. Scott, tell me how this examination, you don't just pick up the phone and go, okay, I looked at it. What is a phone examination? How do I get evidence of potential snaps that were sent that day, texts, emails, photos taken during those critical hours? And important, how do I find out if anything was deleted? We've heard, yes, it's deleted. No, it wasn't deleted. The only way we're going to know is from a forensics exam. How do you do it? Now, take baby steps. Go ahead.
It's pretty easy nowadays. You get the physical phone itself, you hook it up to a device like the Cellbrite, which is one of the main producers of this type of software that can download phones. First of all, obviously, you have to have the password to the phone. If not, then you have to go through a lot of processes to get past the password and into the phone. But once you're into the phone, and this can be done with other people standing by, as you were talking about, another investigator for the defense or for the family or something like that being there, they can sit there and watch you download the phone. And basically, once you download a copy of what's on the phone, and you're not really messing with the evidence that's on the phone, you're not changing it, you're just copying it to another computer, and then you can start going through that data. You can look at all the text messages, and it'll even let you know which ones have been deleted. Now, of course, deleted means, it's
Put them
in
up,
kind of
please.
computer
Put them up,
terms.
please. What do you see when you're looking for deleted? Do you see like you log on and you just see all this data, X's and O's and digits, and how do I tell something's been deleted? Deleted. Explain that to me. I mean, unless it's in recently deleted, but even my twins at age 3 knew how to go into my phone and find recently deleted and delete it. And how do you find it?
So it's actually just, on the computer screen, you're looking at all the lists of text messages, and it says right to the right of it, this one was deleted. So in an aspect, if it hadn't been overwritten, think about how computers work. You delete something just like a phone. You delete something, it kind of takes it and moves it into a non-use to an area you're not using. And then once, if the phone starts getting full, it starts writing over that deleted stuff. So things that were deleted at some point in time are still there and can be recovered. The actual texts of the text message, the content of the text message is still there until it's getting written over by the phone.
Scott Eicher, has your company, Precision Cellular Analysis, performed these independent examinations of phones?
Yes, they have. We have a whole group of individuals in our company that just specialize in downloading phones, rebuilding phones that are damaged so that the data can be pulled from the phone, and breaking into the phones if we don't have the password.
What is Cellbrite and how is it used?
It's a program that's been around for a good amount of time, probably 15 years, and each year it gets more updated, but it's a program that actually goes into the phone and allows you to copy the information from the phone onto to a different computer. And then you can look at that data and spend time going through it, get all the chronological information from text messages to pictures to Snapchat. So you can get a timeline from all these different areas of the phone.
What about a digital forensics go bag? A portable data collection rig. We saw it in the Nancy Guthrie investigation. It was used when the investigators went into the Guthrie family home. You see it on field operations, intelligence, digital forensics. They extract or they mirror digital info right there on location. A tactical exploitation kit like a forensics go bag.
Yes, those are available, and basically Cellbrite is that also. It's more for phones, but you can have the same type of device for computers and for other devices in the home. But Cellbrite is also a portable device that you can take to a crime scene, take to a house, or go to a individual's residence and do that download. It doesn't have to be done in the office.
According to the family, they have made the phone and their independent experts readily available.
The Jackson County DA's office, as well as our forensic team, and possibly the FBI, we're going to together download and examine the phone. So it's done one time with everybody together, right? This is very common in the law. This is what is supposed to happen. We are waiting for the DA to determine the time, the place, the date. Let us know, and we are going to be there with our.
So why did Officer Tatum lie and say that they haven't been cooperative with the phone? They've been like basically like hiding with the phone because they not trying to give it to the police. But that right there shows that they haven't been hiding with the phone. And like they said, they just want their own people there and they can have their people there. They just want that one middleman. They don't want nothing to get tampered with. Not saying it is, but they don't know them. So yeah, they don't want nothing to get tampered with, so they want somebody in to watch. But seems like to me they don't want to let nobody in to watch.
Forensics team and anybody else, but it's done one time, one examination. We're ready for it to happen.
From our friends at WLOX, that's Liza Park working with Nolan's mother. To you, Susan Hendricks, now somehow it's made to look.
Man, cuz, that's what I said. Why they do cuz like that, bro? Man, but allegedly, we don't know. They say he drowned. It was from not natural causes, but yeah, like basically, they say he drowned or nothing nefarious happened. Nothing nefarious happened. Geo, you feel me? Nothing nefarious happened. Oh, and they said their parents wasn't on the island. Come to find out, their parents and grandparents and all that was on the island. They told the Coast Guard and the Sea Tow people not to come. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They told the Coast Guard and the Sea Tow people not to come. Why you tell the people not to come if y'all? Because their story was they boat was sinking. They boat was sinking, so they needed help, right, Geo? And they called the Sea Tow people to come help them. They allegedly had a hole in their boat. They called the people to come help them, but there was so much going on, air quotes, with the young man in his body, I guess. Excuse me. They said, hang up with Cito. Hang up. Don't call the Coast Guard. They gonna come. They gonna see him. So we trying to figure out why they tell the Coast Guard and Cito not to come, and had his friends come pull the boat with their dads and grandpa's boats and aunties and uncle boats and whoever else boats they went and used to come pull their boat. It's just a lot. It's just so much. It's just crazy. Then I'm gonna get into this girl TikTok because she got some new content she just dropped. I want to show y'all the content she just dropped on her TikTok. Uh huh. Uh huh. That Jasmine girl, I think her name Jasmine or something. I gotta show y'all what she been dropping on her TikTok.
Like the family, Nolan's family, is not cooperating. Let me understand what has happened. So Nolan's family went out of state. I don't know why. And while they were gone, they get a demand letter from the DA's office.
Yeah, that said you have 24 hours. And they were at the NABJ, National Association of Black Journalists Conference in Georgia. They spoke on stage and they said, wait a minute, we're not there. We can't do that. I thought we agreed on July 15th at that meeting that we would come together and do this. And now you're acting like we're not cooperating, but we are. So then they came back now, Nolan's family attorney saying, okay, any day this week, we need 24 hours notice and we'll make it happen. They're not hiding the phone. They just don't trust for the DA to have the phone alone without an independent investigation into the phone, someone who's not biased.
And, you know,
Right. That's their son phone. That's the last thing they got with their son, pictures in it and all that. Yeah, so of course they trying to get in the phone so they can see what happened. And then another thing I want to say. I just want to throw this out there. How did the friend call the mama if nobody had the mama number because nobody know the mama and they not even his friends? I'm gonna just call them associates. How did the one associate call the mama and nobody had her number? Nobody. They mamas don't even got her number because they mamas don't even know her. They mamas don't even know her from. They went to school together when they was young, but that's that. They mamas don't even know her. So, with that being said, how did y'all get this number? Because y'all was already in this phone? Because come to find out, they wanted him to delete a video out of the phone of one of the boys' brothers getting beat up that day on the beach. One of the boys' brothers got beat up on the beach. And Nolan had the video on his phone, allegedly. Allegedly. Because I don't want them coming after me, because they've been coming after a lot of YouTubers with these defamation suits. So I don't want them coming after me. And allegedly, uh, uh, oh man, I done got threw off, man. I'm gonna be honest. I done got threw off. Man, I forgot where I was at. Oh my God, I forgot where I was at. Where was I at, chat? George, where was I at? Are you still in here, George? Where was I at? Where was I at, George? I forgot. But let's get into it.
Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter. The family is afraid. Many people have seen injustice in other cases that have nothing to do with them. And I believe they fear evidence will be destroyed or mishandled, and it can never be recaptured. It's very possible it could never be recaptured. I mean, you and I and Joe Scott, you did an incredible recreation in the Ellen Greenberg case, remember? Ellen Greenberg stabbed, I think, 20 plus times, including the back of the head, the back of the neck, the back, actually severing the dura of her spinal cord. And the ruling was suicide. Okay, this is what I'm getting leading up to. So,
Yes, ma'am.
all of the evidence was not documented at the scene. The
No.
police told, this is in Philly, told the apartment manager, sure, clean it up. As a matter of fact, here's a professional cleaner. Call them. They had it professionally cleaned. Bye-bye, evidence. Gone. Gone. Not only that, the apartment manager took a video of the inside of Ellen's apartment to show basically, look, this is how it was before, this is how it is after. We want to prove we didn't take anything, we didn't steal anything, everything is accounted for. And that's...
Hey, I remember that case. For real. And they still try to say that that woman killed herself. Excuse me, YouTube. Unalived herself. Excuse me, YouTube. Unalived herself. They still saying she got stabbed in the back like 3 times, 4 times or something. I don't know. Man, this woman was stabbed up. They said she killed herself. It's not funny, but that's just it's funny that they would say that. She got stabbed in the back. So what she do? Run into the wall, the knife in her back? How she do? I don't know. I don't know.
SOP, standard operating procedure. So
Yes.
when they didn't process the crime scene, they went, oh, thank goodness, at least we have the video. They handed the video over to Philly PD and they lost it.
Yeah.
Just let that
There's one
sink
more
in for a
thing.
moment.
There's one more
That
thing that
case
kind of ties
still.
back to. There's
Go
one more
ahead.
thing that kind of ties back to Nolan's case here as well, and that's the fact that with Ellen, I don't know if you recall this, the computer made it out of there as well. Do you recall that? And that was never
Oh,
examined,
yes.
right? And so that's, again, we're left wanting, Nancy,
Ellen's
relative to all of
computer
the data.
with all
Yeah,
of the info leading up to the time
everything.
of her murder, ruled
Yep.
suicide,
Yeah.
taken off the scene. Now, I'm not
Yep.
claiming that the people that took it, they were family members of the fiance. For all I know, they took it because they didn't want anybody to steal it. And
Yeah.
nothing nefarious happened. But the problem is, you lock down a family. Look what's happened to Nancy Guthrie. A pizza
Yeah. You
delivery
can't.
guy
Yeah.
came and walked right over the blood evidence to deliver a pizza.
Yeah.
Same thing here, Dave Mack. I get why the Nolan Wells family is fearful.
Well, Nancy, this investigation, I'm putting air quotes in that because if you remember early on, it was a drowning, and no investigation had even been done. You realize he was missing. It wasn't like it was hours and they went back and he was missing for almost 2 days. And the family early on was not getting information that they felt like they should. All they're saying is, we want to be assured of the chain of custody, how the extraction on this phone is going to be performed, who would have access to the extracted data. That's important. Preservation of the evidence. And then, when is this phone going to be returned to us? This is the last thing they have of their son. And those things that I just mentioned, those were the items discussed on July 15th. And there was no follow-up after that until August 12th, when the DA's office, tells the family, well, you got 48 hours to turn the phone over, and they were out of town. So, yeah, there's a lot going on with the most important part of the evidence. So there was no way
by the time they find out about the letter that they could comply with the 48-hour requirement. Hi guys, Nancy Grace here. Please join us on Crime Stories and stream it first on Fox 1. When breaking crime news develops, we investigate it and bring it to you. Bombshell updates, answers to unanswered questions from cases making the headlines and cases you may never have heard of until Crime Stories. We go inside investigations with exclusive interviews, crime victims, families seeking justice, investigators, experts, and sources from within the case itself. Stay on top of the nation's biggest trials with us, including gavel-to-gavel coverage with real-time analysis. Crime Stories with Nancy Grace. Stream it first on Fox 1. I hope to see you there, and thank you, friend.
A teenage boy climbs onto a boat with people he trusts. Hours later, that same boat pulls away from a remote stretch of island without him. What happens in the time between his last confirmed sighting and the moment his body washes up on the shore, decomposed beyond recognition, is a mystery no one has been able to answer. Not the family, not the lawyers, not even the investigators who, 6 weeks later, still won't call this what it might be: a homicide. 2 witnesses say they saw him alive on that island, hours after the boat was already gone. If they're telling the truth, everything we thought we knew about his final hours is wrong. And somewhere in his phone, the one his family has been fighting to protect from the moment investigators came asking, could be the last real trace of what happened to him before he died. This is the case of Nolan Wells. And tonight, we're pulling apart every thread: the timeline, the witnesses, the phone standoff, the science of how a body decomposes on an island no one was watching closely enough. Before we go further, this case involves details about death, decomposition, and forensic evidence that some viewers may find disturbing. Please take care while watching, and feel free to step away if you need to. If this is your first time here, welcome to Crime Chronicles.
So y'all heard what they said, and it's the GS3 report. Watch this at your own risk. It might be some graphical things. Yeah, we do not bully people on this channel. Thank you, YouTube, for the platform. It's the GS3 report, and let's get into it.
Hit subscribe so you don't miss where this case goes next, and drop a comment letting us know where in the world you're watching from tonight. If you want more true crime breakdowns like this one, share this video with someone who needs to see it. Now, let's go back to the beginning. Nolan Wells was 18 years old, a rising sophomore wide receiver who had just started building his football career at Southwest Mississippi Community College. Back home, he was remembered at Ocean Springs High School, where teachers and teammates described him as steady, well-liked, the kind of kid who showed up for people. Nothing about his week suggested anything was wrong. On the evening of July 3rd, Wells told his parents, Christine and Elmore Wansley, that he'd
Make sure y'all like this live stream, please, man. Make sure y'all like and share this live stream, please, you guys. Like and share this live stream, you guys, please.
be spending the 4th of July weekend with friends. Later that night,
It really don't cost you nothing to press that button. It don't cost you nothing to press that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. Make sure y'all hit that like button on this live stream, please, you guys. And thank you guys for tuning in to GS3 Report.
he left the house. It was a conversation thousands of families have every summer. Nobody in that house had any reason to think it would be the last real conversation they'd ever have with him. The destination was
Chat, one last thing. Y'all know once I get my PC back at the pawn shop, we gonna be good. We're gonna have my sounds back and everything. Y'all know I just need to scrape up some money. Y'all know I keep it real with y'all in my chat. Y'all know I keep it real. I need to get my PC out the pawn shop. Don't worry about it. And I'll be back with the good live streams for you guys. And the good sounds and good quality, I need my PC back, man. But I was having some problems, so I had to go to the pawn shop, you guys. Now, let's get back into it.
Horn Island, a barrier island sitting roughly 10 miles off the Mississippi Gulf Coast. It's federally protected, uninhabited, no roads, no facilities, nothing out there but sand, scrub brush, and open water in every direction. The only way in or out is by boat. And on the 4th of July, that island was not empty. An estimated 300 people had made the trip that day, many of them former classmates from Ocean Springs, all gathered for the holiday the way they had for years. Nolan Wells arrived on that island with friends, on a boat, as part of that crowd. And at some point, in the middle of a celebration surrounded by people who knew him, something shifted. He didn't come back with the group he arrived with. That single fact is where this case begins, and it's the reason we're still asking questions about Nolan Wells today. If you're new here, this is Crime Chronicles, and we follow cases like this one until there's an answer. Subscribe now, because this story is far from over. GPS data pulled from the boat that carried Nolan Wells to Horn Island tells part of the story. That boat left the island at 4:31 in the afternoon. It arrived back at Fort Bayou on the mainland at 5:52, and it was fully docked by 6:06. Those numbers aren't estimates or memories. They come directly from the vessel's own tracking data, and they're the closest thing investigators have to a fixed anchor point in an otherwise uncertain timeline. But even that piece of evidence comes with a contradiction attached. At some point during the trip, there was a call for assistance out on the water. Sea Tow, the marine towing service, says that once the caller told them the issue had already been resolved, they never actually towed the boat at all. The Mississippi
And that's what I told y'all. Didn't I tell y'all? They called them back and told them, well, actually, they didn't call them back. Allegedly, air quotes, the grandfather called the guy at Cito on his cell phone because they know everybody in the town, small town, and they parents actually run a lot of stuff. Uh the guy right here on the end next to the guy with the cops hat on, the young dude right here, I forgot his name. His mom is a lawyer. They all got rich families basically, and yeah, they involved in a lot of grimy stuff in that town, bro. They involved in a lot of grimy stuff in that town, bro. As we can see, oh man, bro, they grimy, bro. But the grandfather know the Cito people, so he called the Cito dude on his cell phone and told him, "Hey, yeah, man, 'cause ain't no recording of that call came out. Yeah, ain't no recording. Everything else is recorded 'cause they called the Cito phone. What that recording that the grandfather, and you hear the dude say, "Yeah, I just talked to the grandfather. He said it's okay. They don't need no Cito. They don't need the National Guard or nothing." Huh? Why would you say that if your friend missing? Huh? Yeah, all right.
Department of Marine Resources tells a different version, stating the boat was towed 2.75 miles before it resumed normal operation on its own. Two agencies, two accounts of the same boat, on the same day, and neither one lines up cleanly with the other. Then there's the question of why Nolan wasn't on that boat when it left. According to friends who were interviewed by investigators, Nolan chose to stay behind on the island to talk with a woman he didn't previously know, and he told them he'd make his own way back to the mainland later. Those same friends say they didn't leave him behind by choice. They say their own boat was taking on water, and returning to shore wasn't optional. Nolan's parents don't accept that explanation as the full picture. Christine and Elmore have said publicly that the son they knew wasn't someone who would choose to stay behind on a remote island, alone, without a way home, and go silent. To them, the story their son's friends are telling doesn't match the person who raised. An independent review of the available photos, videos, GPS records, and witness statements later identified something investigators still can't close. There's a gap. A stretch of time between the last moment anyone can independently confirm where Nolan actually was and the moment that boat pulled away from the island. Nobody has filled that gap with verified information yet. Not investigators, not the family's team, not anyone. But this isn't where the story ends. This is where it gets complicated. If this timeline has you asking questions, you're not the only one. Drop your thoughts in the comments and like this video. The more people looking at this case, the better. For 2 days, Nolan Wells was simply missing. Then on July 6th, a search effort involving the United States Coast Guard, the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, and the National Park Service located a body in the water just off Horn Island. Dental records were used to confirm what everyone feared. Jackson County Coroner Bruce Lind confirmed to local media that the body was Nolan Wells. In the earliest hours of this becoming a criminal case, the tone from law enforcement was measured. Jackson County Sheriff John Ledbetter told reporters that detectives were interviewing people who'd had direct contact with Nolan on the day he disappeared, and at that point, in his words, no foul play had been identified. That statement set the framework the investigation would operate under for weeks to come, a drowning being treated, initially, as exactly that. Part of what shaped that early framing came from witness accounts collected by investigators. According to a preliminary document from the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, witnesses told authorities that Nolan had been drinking heavily with friends on the island earlier that day. It's one detail among many, and on its own, it explains nothing about what actually happened to him. But it's part of the official record, and it's part of how this case was first understood. There's also the water itself to consider. Horn Island sits in open Gulf water, and people familiar with the area describe the currents around it as notoriously rough. The coroner's office has said it isn't unfamiliar with drowning cases originating from Mississippi's barrier islands, a detail that added weight to the early theory, even as the full picture remained unclear. At the same time, the case was drawing attention far beyond Jackson County. Photos from that day show Nolan surrounded largely by white friends, and for some observers, that detail, layered onto Mississippi's difficult racial history, raised uncomfortable questions about whether race played any role in what happened to him. NAACP President Derek Johnson addressed this directly, saying it was important to let a full and thorough investigation play out before anyone drew conclusions about whether this was simply an accident. What's true is this: a young man went into the water off a remote island and came out of it without his life. Everything else, the how, the why, and whether anyone bears responsibility, was still, at this stage, unanswered. We're staying on this case until there's real clarity. Subscribe now so you don't miss the next update the moment new details surface. Not satisfied with how the investigation was unfolding, Nolan's family brought in nationally known civil rights attorney Ben Crump. Crump's team commissioned an independent autopsy, and the early results were released with a specific, careful phrase attached. Cause and manner of death, undetermined, pending further investigation. Not drowning, not confirmed, undetermined. That independent autopsy was conducted by forensic pathologist Dr. Roger Mitchell, and his initial findings were described as inconclusive. Crump went further than that, publicly stating that certain body parts appeared to be missing following the state's own autopsy, a claim that, if true, raises serious questions about how the body was handled before Mitchell ever got access to it. Meanwhile, the official state autopsy was completed, but its results weren't released to the public. Instead, they were sent directly to a grand jury. District Attorney Angel Myers-McElrath explained that this isn't unusual for her office. Every death in the county, she said, aside from natural causes and non-criminal accidents, gets presented to a grand jury as standard procedure. Whether or not that answers people's frustrations, it's the process this case has been placed inside of. In the middle of all this, one piece of video caused a wave of panic online. A clip began circulating that some viewers believed showed Nolan in a physical confrontation. His friend, Trayston Shepard, addressed it directly, explaining that the yelling heard in that video wasn't a fight involving Nolan at all. It was her own voice. One rumor, at least, was put to rest. Behind the scenes, the investigation kept widening. Roughly 60 witnesses have now been interviewed. The three friends who were with Nolan on the boat to Horn Island have each been interviewed in depth, more than once. And the FBI has stepped in to assist with examining digital evidence connected to the case, a detail that signals this is no longer being treated as a simple, isolated drowning. And that's when the investigation stopped being just about a drowning. What do you think really happened in that missing stretch of time? Leave your theory in the comments. We read every one of them. Nolan's phone has become one of the most contested pieces of evidence in this entire case. The family says it has always been willing to hand it over for examination. On August 17th, attorney Ahmad R. Smith sent a letter to District Attorney Angel Myers-McElrath addressing exactly where things stood and making clear the family's position hadn't changed. They wanted the phone examined. They just wanted it done right. The tension traces back to what happened just days earlier. Reports indicate the district attorney's office directed the family to turn over the phone by 9 in the morning on August 14th, giving them less than 48 hours to comply. The problem was timing. Nolan's parents were out of state when that demand arrived. And beyond the short notice, there was a bigger issue neither side had resolved. No finalized protocol existed yet, covering how the extraction would actually work, who would maintain chain of custody, how the extracted data would be preserved, who would have access to it, and when, or whether, the phone itself would eventually be returned to the family. For a family that has already raised concerns about how evidence was handled earlier in this case, those unanswered questions weren't small details. They were the entire point. In his letter, Smith reiterated that the family remains cooperative and is actively conducting its own independent investigation alongside the district attorney's office. He specifically asked the DA to confirm whether the phone examination would still take place at the location both sides had previously agreed on, a nearby community college. As of now, this remains unresolved. The pressure on this case isn't just local anymore. The Congressional Black Caucus has sent a formal letter pushing for federal oversight of the investigation. Attorney Eric Hertz has said publicly that based on the evidence timeline he's seen, he believes this case could go before a grand jury within roughly 30 days. And several of the friends who were with Nolan that day have now retained their own separate attorneys, a sign that everyone involved is preparing for this to escalate well beyond where it currently stands. Adding to the noise, state officials have issued a public warning that fake documents related to this case are circulating online, urging people to be careful about what they trust and share. The moment that grand jury decision comes down, we'll be covering it in full. Subscribe now so you're not finding out about it secondhand. As of right now, the state autopsy into Nolan Wells' death is complete. Its findings haven't been made public, and under the district attorney's stated process, they won't be. Not until a grand jury has reviewed the case and decided whether any charges are warranted. That decision is still pending. Behind the scenes, attorneys on both sides are already positioning for what could come next, including the possibility of civil litigation regardless of what the grand jury ultimately decides. That's not unusual in cases like this one, but it does tell you something. Nobody involved expects this to simply end quietly. This week carries its own weight for the people who knew Nolan best. He would have turned 19 on August 19th. Ben Crump has called for a day of prayer to mark the date, and a vigil is being planned in Biloxi to honor him, not as a case number, but as the son, teammate, and friend people are still grieving. What we're left with are the same open questions this case has carried from the beginning. What actually happened in that gap of time before the boat left? What the phone will eventually reveal once both sides agree on how to examine it? And what, if anything, a grand jury decides once every piece of evidence is finally in front of them? We're not going to guess at those answers. We're going to wait for them, the same way Nolan's family has had to. If you've been with us through this entire case, thank you for staying. Subscribe now so you're notified the moment the grand jury reaches a decision. And let us know in the comments where you're.
Okay, chat. We not done yet. We not done yet. We ain't done yet. So hold on real quick. We not done yet. We not done. Hold on. We gonna find this real quick for y'all. Chat, y'all still here, man? Don't go nowhere, chat. Don't go nowhere, man. Hold on. I'm finding something for us right now. Hold on. Don't go nowhere. Hold on. I'm finding us some shit. Oh, no jumper live right now. No, but we can't jump into no jumper after we on the Nolan Wells situation. Oh, hold on. District Attorney blocks justice for Nolan Wells. The district attorney in Nolan Wells' case does the unthinkable. Let's see what's going on, chat. Let's see what's going on. I'm trying to see. I don't need to copyright it, so I just wait, was that the end of that? Oh, I guess we missed it. I guess we missed it. Was that the end? Yeah, that was the end. We missed it. We missed it, chat. Hold on. Yeah, we definitely getting to the bottom of this ASAP. You already know, Gio. We getting to the bottom of this, man. ASAP. Okay, Money Kid, you still in here? Okay, Money Kid still in here. Money Kid still in here. And where my other mod at, man? Where man, where Don at, man? Where my other mod at? Where my other mod at? Where my other fucking mod at? Where my other fucking mod? He probably taking a shit or something. Excuse me, YouTube. He probably taking a dump or something. George, what you got going, man? How your day been so far, George? Man, you know, we got this Nolan Wells situation going on. Hold on. I'm trying to find out something else. Oh, wait a minute. Oh man, bro. Um, I subscribed to this dude channel because he was talking about some good stuff last time. I had watched his channel. He was talking about some good stuff. So in chat, when I end this stream, right, we're gonna start another stream, right? We're gonna start another stream on this Blueface stuff, bro. This Blueface stuff is deep out here, bro. This Blueface stuff is deep out here, bro. Bro, we gotta get into this Blueface, and Christian Rock out here squabbling people. We gotta get into this Blueface and Christian Rock situation, bro. We got to, bro. We definitely gotta get into this situation, bro. So after this live stream, we get into that. But I found some more Nolan Wells stuff. Um And what it says is Nolan Wells' case takes a dark turn. Is the DA now investigating? Let me see what it say. Investigating a homicide. Uh-oh, let's see. Let's get into it, chat. I don't know if I can get copyrighted for their little music that be playing or whatever the case may be. So I don't be uh hold on. All right, let's let that go past. Okay, shout out Willie D Live. Shout out Willie D Live. I'm not subscribed to him, but I just happen to see his content. Oh, let me show y'all. Hold on, chat. Hold on. Let me fix it. Let me show y'all what's going on. Chat, how y'all doing, mud? as y'all can see, we are strolling up right now. So if you in the chat right now and you watching this, get your doobie ready, blaze up. Let's watch this live content, you feel me, by the GS3 report. So I'm here to give you some news that you can use, and I don't want you to abuse. I'm here to give you some news that you can use, and I don't want you to abuse. I'm here to give you some news that you can use, and I don't want you to abuse. Some news that you can use, and I don't want you to abuse. So, with that being said, what's up with Cub Face? Who face? Who face? My face? What's wrong with my shit? My shit fat. The news that you can use, and I don't want you to abuse. Come on, Gio. Man, come on, man. I'm here to give you the news that you can use. So if you here right now, I need y'all to twist up y'all stogies. Twist up y'all stogies. Get ready for this content. Cause I just found some more breaking news in the Nolan Wells case. Another bombshell was dropped. Another bombshell has been dropped. Another bombshell has been dropped. So I'm gonna need y'all to roll up, get y'all stogies. Y'all got y'all stogies ready? Get y'all soda or y'all juice or whatever y'all sipping on. I need y'all to get it ready. Make sure y'all like this live stream, share this live stream with your friends and family. Tell them to tune in to the GS3 report. Tell your friends and family to tune in to the GS3 report. Because I am here to give you some news that you can use. I always got the news that you can use. And you'll never be confused. I always got the news that you can use. You know, we don't want to twist this too tight because we need that pull. You know, we got to have that pull, you know. But yeah, yet again, I'm going to say I'm always here to give you the news that you can use. So, yeah, thank you, George. I mean, thank you, Gio. Feel me? Thank you, Gio, for tuning in and staying on my live. I really appreciate that. Man, you don't know how much I'm right here, man. You don't know how much I love you and I'm thankful for you because my own family or friends don't even tune in to my live stream. And I look at you as a brother and as my family. So at least now I got one family member tuning into my live stream, my bro. And I genuinely appreciate that. And you actually interacting too. You are actually interacting. Thank you so freaking much. You can't cuss on here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Genuinely. Okay, now we about to get into this content. Hold on, let me show y'all the GS3 report screen real quick so I can make sure the content is ready for us. Gotta make sure the content is ready for us. Okay, the content is ready for us. And like I said, shout out Willie D. Willie D. Pause. That's it. That name is just sound crazy. Shout out Willie D. Pause. For the content, because I'm not subscribed to his channel. I'm not subscribed to his channel, but He has the content. This is his page. If you want to go pull up and watch this content, we might not watch the whole thing. We might just watch some of it. So if you do want to go pull up on him and watch the rest of it or whatever, you can pull up Willie D. Pause live stream. Let's get into it.
Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Something very serious is happening in the Nolan Wells investigation, and it raises a question I don't think we can even begin to ignore anymore. Is the district attorney now threatening this case to go investigate a little deeper? Is she treating this case as a potential homicide? What do y'all think? Give me a thumbs up if you say yeah. Thumbs down if you say nah, man, nah, she ain't serious. She ain't serious. See, I haven't seen the DA publicly announce that Nolan's death has officially been ruled a homicide. So I got to put that out there right now. That's important. But look at how this case is moving. The DA has already said the investigation is going before a grand jury. Nolan's official autopsy has been completed, but the results haven't been released publicly. There's an ongoing fight over digital evidence. Nolan's cell phone is now moving toward a joint forensic examination, and the prosecutors are continuing to gather evidence instead of simply accepting the original narrative and closing the case. So what exactly are they investigating? Because if authorities were completely satisfied that Nolan accidentally drowned and nobody potentially committed a crime, why does this investigation appear to be getting more serious instead of less serious? That's the question. And there's a major distinction.
No, that's a fact. I really said that too, though. Like, why does it seem to be getting more serious instead of less serious if he really just drowned? And like the way the boys is explaining themselves, we're gonna get more into that too, man. But another thing I was thinking about, chat, right now, I'm not gonna lie, because one time, right, when I was streaming, I had went to somebody's story on YouTube, like they real, they short. And after the live stream, I had got a like copyright for that, bro. I'm not gonna lie, for going to the short, for clicking on the short. So what I'm wondering is, if I go to TikTok and I watch the girl TikTok, would I get like a copyright thing, for going to TikTok and watching her videos from YouTube? That's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm wondering right now. But yeah, that's crazy.
Distinction here, fam. A homicide ruling doesn't automatically mean murder. Homicide simply means a person's death resulted from the actions of another person. Whether those actions were criminal is an entirely separate situation. But we don't even publicly have that determination yet, fam. The autopsy results are being withheld pending grand jury review. And that makes those results even more interesting. What did the medical examiner find? What is Nolan's official cause of death? What is the manner of death? Accident, homicide, undetermined. We know that the medical examiner in this case, who has been the medical examiner for some other cases where Black people mysteriously were ended up dead and the suspects were white. Well, we know that she'll pick any one of them. She'll pick anything but homicide, actually. She loves to rule suicide when Black people could turn up dead. Suicide, even if they get hung and even if they're found hung with 2 broken legs. Suicide. Even if they're found hung with no arms. They committed suicide, they hung themselves. We don't know, but somebody does. And that makes this situation so frustrating. The government possesses information that could answer some of the biggest questions surrounding Nolan's death, while the public and Nolan's family are still waiting. Then there's Nolan's cell phone. Everybody talking about the cell phone right now. The family has now agreed to a joint forensic examination. Good. Examine it. Because that phone may potentially help establish Nolan's movements, communications, and timeline during his final hours. And if investigators are seriously examining the possibility that somebody else played a role in Nolan's death, digital evidence could become extremely important. Who communicated with Nolan? When? What does the location data show, if recoverable? What photographs or videos exist? Does the digital timeline match the accounts investigators have received? Those are questions investigators should answer with evidence, not speculation. And here's why I'm watching the DA very closely, fam. First and foremost, I do not trust her. We're now hearing that this case could reach a grand jury within roughly the next month. Grand jurors could potentially hear evidence the public has never seen. They could hear witness testimony. They could receive forensic evidence. They could learn what's in that autopsy. And depending on what the prosecutors present, they could ultimately be asked to consider whether the probable cause exists for criminal charges. That doesn't mean somebody will be indicted. It doesn't mean Nolan's friends committed a crime. And it definitely doesn't mean we should declare somebody a murderer based on internet theories. But it does mean this case is still alive. And that alone matters. Because remember where this all started, fam. The early public narrative was essentially that there was no indication of foul play. Well,
and that he was only lost. There was no foul play. He was only lost. Yeah, we trying to find him. Boom, he appeared on the beach. There still wasn't no foul play. They took him to the place, to the corner. They looked at his body, everything. That he had a bruise on the back of his neck, a big bruise on the back of his neck. Then they came out with this thing that, you know, that's out right now, that the brother is a wrestler and he the one got beat up in the fight on the island, and Nolan had the video of the fight and didn't want to give them the video of the fight. So that's how they end up with his phone and all that. I guess they were trying to get the video out of his phone. But allegedly, the brother put Nolan in a chokehold, was choking him too long. So I guess he ended up dying. And that's what happened. I don't know if they just threw him in the water after that. Throw him in the water and make it look like he choked and drowned. But allegedly, the brother got into a fight with him because he wanted him to delete the video off of his phone. He wanted him to delete that video. They say he told him delete the video, and he didn't want to delete the video. So they said the young man allegedly did one of his little wrestling moves, a neck bar or something, an arm bar. Put him in a neck bar or an arm bar. Forgot something like this, some like, and then something else like and put and choked him out. This was the story we heard from one of the witnesses that Nolan moms allegedly know that he got choked out because he didn't want to give up the video of the brother getting beat up on the island. So they choked that young man out. Allegedly. Like I've been saying, You know, I don't want them coming trying to come at me with no defamation suits and all that. Hey, I'm just saying what I hear on the internet already. This is already on the internet. But yeah.
Let me back up. That wasn't the public's narrative. That was the sheriff's narrative, John Ledbetter. And I always say if John led better, he would know better. Anyway, moving on. Now, weeks later, prosecutors are still gathering evidence. The autopsy remains under wraps. Nolan's phone is being pursued for forensic examination, and a grand jury is expected to review the investigation. That's movement. So I'm not telling you the DA has officially declared Nolan's death a homicide. She hasn't publicly done that based on anything I've seen about that was out there. You know, I haven't been able to verify any of that, but I am asking something different. Has evidence caused prosecutors to take a harder look at the possibilities that weren't being publicly emphasized at the beginning? Because if the answer is yes, that's huge. If the answer is no, then eventually, or evidently, the DA needs to explain exactly where this investigation stands. Either way, the next few weeks could tell us a lot. Watch that cell phone examination. Watch that grand jury. And most importantly, watch what eventually happens with that autopsy. Because once the official cause and manner of Nolan Wells' death become known, the entire conversation could change overnight. And if that happens, look out, because there's clearly a line drawn in the sand for people who support Nolan Wells and those who support the people accused of being involved in his death. Joining me now, right now on Willie D Live, is my main man, Jack Palmieri, Attorney Jack Palmieri. Attorney Jack Palmieri to help us make sense. Jack, how you doing, man?
Very well. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm doing great.
I don't want to alarm you. You're starting to sound like an attorney. You're starting to talk like a lawyer.
You know what? When I was saying that, I was like, man, this sounds like something Jack would say. You know,
I'm sorry to rub off on you. You keep terrible company.
Hey, man. Hey, I do what I can on a small budget. Jack.
Thank you for having me. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Jack, what would you tell prosecutors? What would tell you that prosecutors are now treating this as a potential homicide?
The fact that we're hearing the words grand jury, all right? The fact that, you know, people don't always realize is the prosecutors are not beholden to what law enforcement does, meaning whether or not police make an arrest or charge you with crime A, the prosecutors can choose to proceed with crime A. They can add crime B. They can drop crime A. If they're not satisfied, they can go forward on their own. And it sounds like whatever we've said, whatever we think, whatever law enforcement has or has not done, prosecutors are moving forward on their own. They're ready to convene the grand jury. It means they are bringing criminal charges against at least one person for something. And that's good news. That's progress.
Yeah, absolutely. What changes legally when a suspicious death investigation becomes a homicide?
Well, I mean, the gravity, it's, you know, the stakes are higher now, you know, where let's say you had a tampering with evidence charge, you're talking, you know, third degree, second degree felonies, still important. But when you get to homicide, you're talking first degree felonies, you're talking possible life sentences. You're talking about all the chips in the middle. I mean, homicide's as serious it gets. It also means that the burden becomes that much more scrutinized, whereas you may forgive a crack in a prosecution case on a lesser charge. When inside, you're accusing someone of being the reason someone else is dead, and it's going to be all charge. So for them to be going down that road, the prosecutors have a higher burden ethically than the police. It means they believe in good faith they have something against someone.
Could the completed autopsy be driving this shift behind the scenes?
I think so. I think no matter what the autopsy is, it helps that it is completed. Um, I know a lot of people are hinging on if it's inconclusive. Inconclusive is not necessarily good or bad. It just means we couldn't rely on the autopsy for a cause of death. But I think it will rule out that he didn't die of old age, right? He didn't die of a heart attack. So if all of the criminal possibilities are in play, that is still good from a prosecution standpoint. The fact that it doesn't say conclusively from a forensic standpoint he died by murder, it doesn't rule it out either. And that's why you have, we talk about some circumstantial evidence or witness testimony. So I think it sounds like whatever the forensic examination says does not hurt the prosecution. If it helps or not, different question.
Yeah, yeah. But would the prosecutors need evidence of murder or merely evidence that another person caused Nolan's death?
Well, at least they ruling it a homicide now. At least we getting somewhere, man. That's an accomplishment, man. Let's get a round of applause, man. Let's get a round of applause for that. I don't know if my round of applause even work. Hold on, let's see. Let's see if the round of applause work. Let's get a round of applause for that. Do the round of applause work? Uh, hell, it don't work. It's not working. Can you get a hand clap? Can you get a hand clap? That's crazy. Is the hand clap working, chat? Can you get a air horn? Can you get an air horn? What about air horn? Air horn? Shout out Nolan Wells. Okay, the air horn working. The air horn working. Air horn working. Okay, I hear the air horn. Okay, okay. The air horn is working. Shout out the fact that they just made this a homicide. It's a homicide. It's a homicide. When your mama ride, it's a homicide. It's a homicide. Da, 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 da. Okay, let's get into it, chat. Let's get back into this Nolan Wells case. The air horn is working. I hear it. There it go. Okay, let's get back into it, Mud.
I think evidence of someone causing another death is sufficient. Like you said, homicide, there's a lot of degrees of homicide. There's intentional homicide, there's reckless homicide, there's that manslaughter, there's the heat of the moment. There's, I acted so recklessly that I caused a death, like you said, in vehicular homicides where you drove 150 miles an hour and were changing lanes and you sideswiped someone, causing their death. So it doesn't need to be an intentional, premeditated, like premeditation is your top type of homicide murder charge. Um, it could be, but if anyone is in any way directly, indirectly responsible in some degree for Nolan's death, all bets are off.
So if this is let's say this is treated, as a homicide. Let's say this is being treated as a homicide. Why hasn't there been any arrest?
Well, it hasn't been an arrest because law enforcement has chosen not to make the arrest. But if the prosecutors get the indictment, that arrest is imminent. So we haven't seen an arrest because law enforcement didn't feel. I don't want to say what they felt. I don't. I have no faith in law enforcement in this case. But for whatever reasons they've not committed to the idea of probable cause that anyone is criminally responsible to any degree for Nolan's death. Prosecutors don't have to wait on that. They don't have to sit on that. They don't have to accept that. They say, no, we think otherwise. Unfortunately, the prosecutor can't make the arrest directly, independently. They need this grand jury to give them the indictment, give them the true bill, bring down the charge, and then you're going to see a warrant for an arrest. If that grand jury comes with a probable cause for a true bill, uh, there'll be warrants for arrests.
I do not like how the prosecution is moving in this case. I don't like how the law enforcement is moving in this case. I don't like how the government is, or the governor is moving in this case. Like, it seems like everybody with some type of authority in Mississippi are all compromised, and they all seem to be leaning towards foul play. I personally think if there is an investigation, I think it's a dog and pony show, because it don't take this long for us to see no damn results of an autopsy. It doesn't, especially in a priority case like this, a case this big. This is an international case. In Mississippi, you got it. So this is supposed to be all hands on deck. Let's get these people answers immediately so we can quell public sentiment, the negative public sentiment here, because people are asking for answers, and we're getting tired of people on the internet saying this and that. Okay, let's put the real stuff out there. Let's get it out there for them so they can examine the real evidence, what's really real, and they don't have to speculate. But they're not doing that. They're over there sitting on their hands, and they're playing the waiting game. And I do believe that they're waiting for another major story to break so this story can get buried.
I think so. I'm gonna separate the prosecutors from the politicians and law enforcement. From a prosecution standpoint, I'm a prosecutor. If you want to see a true bill, you want to see an indictment for the top count for murder, right? Then it is smart. It's rational to give the prosecutors a little more time, because you want them to get it right on the first shot. You don't want them to whiff on it, have to go get more evidence later. You want it to be a nice, clean, solid indictment out the gate. It could be they've been waiting to sort out the cooperation for Nolan's phone. And that's not putting blame on anyone. Just saying they would like it from a prosecution standpoint. Maybe they want that. Maybe you made a really great point in your opening. We don't know what evidence the prosecution has. Maybe they have witness testimony we don't know about. Maybe they've been working on an agreement with someone, get someone to testify against someone else. Because whoever they have testify as a witness, you also know is not going to be their suspect. So it could be they've just been tying up the loose ends, crossing T's, dotting I's, trying to salvage public opinion if they even can. But ultimately, the prosecutor, the buck stops with them, right? If this goes sideways, at the end of the day, I would blame the prosecutor, right? Get the evidence, do it right the first time. And if it takes a little longer, I'd rather see that than rush it and muck it up.
You've been covering this case now. I've been watching a lot of your videos and stuff, and you've been bringing up some good points and analysis. What do you think is going to be on that cell phone? What do you think they're going to find?
It could be anything. It really. I don't cancel anything out. We could find a motive for.
Look like we lost.
I ain't gonna lie, that's what I was thinking though. I ain't gonna lie. That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, what do y'all think they gonna find on that cell phone though? For real though. I was thinking that. I ain't gonna lie. And I What y'all think, chat? What y'all think? Okay, good looking out, Geo, man. Tap in, man. Tap in with me. Appreciate you, man, for tuning in to the live stream, man. Shout out Geo, man. Shout out Geo in the live stream, man. Shout out Geo in the live stream. So what do y'all think though, chat? What are they gonna find in this phone?
Jack, let's see if we can bring Jack back. Let's see. Okay, okay, we're gonna try to bring Jack back in a minute, fam. But in fact, let me go into the comments and see what y'all saying over here. Let me see what y'all talking about. Those boys' phones need to be investigated. Absolutely, Miss Anderson. You're absolutely right. Their phones need to be examined. We're waiting on Jack to come back. Let's see. Who else we got here? Lisa. What's up, Lisa? Paul Jeffers. Fitness John. Yeah. Take off that cap lock, player. Take that cap lock off, player. I saw China Carter earlier. What's up, China? Let's see. We got Justice Joyce. What's Joyce Agnew? The Halloween baby. Hey, what up? 10P Psalms. Soul to soul. Where's Nolan's throat and lungs? Okay, let's see if we got Jack back. I think, let's see. Jack, where you at, Jack?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but I can't see you. You got a black screen. There we go. That's better.
Okay. There you go. Sorry about that. Live
So
television.
we having some issues with your internet connection. It's you know, what do you call it? Buffering.
Aggie, I'll come back on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll bring Jack back in a moment. We'll bring Jack back in a moment and we'll keep it going. This case is heating up, fam. I'm talking about heating all the way up. There is no way possible they're going to be able to sweep this case under the rug. Who we got here? Let's see. Do something right here. You know what my thing is this, fam. If this was as simple as an accidental drowning, why does the investigation keeps getting bigger instead of smaller? You do not bring a mysterious death before a grand jury because the internet wants you to. You know, you don't bring it before a grand jury because the internet wants entertainment. You bring it, as my man Jack said, to the grand jury because you suspect foul play. Right or wrong, Jack?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So my next question is this for you, Jack. Why is it that you have, let's say, the DA's office? Why is it that the DA's office could have so much latitude in regards to what cases go forward and what cases remain stuck?
I think it goes back to the burden they have. They have an ethical burden to have a good faith basis that they could bring this case to a trial and win. They don't have to know that they can win, but they can't bring an absolute, from an evidentiary standpoint, loser case to a grand jury and to a trial. They have to know not that they don't think there was a crime, but that they can prove the crime, right? We can all know. It's kind of like we use the cookie in the cookie jar example. You know, their cookies were in the cookie jar. Your friends come over, they leave, the cookies are gone. Someone ate them. You know someone ate them. You have to prove beyond the exclusion of every reasonable doubt who ate them. And there's always a difference between knowing something happened and proving something happened. Prosecutor has to prove it. That's
Give me
why
some
they,
using that analogy. I want to stick to this analogy right quick. Using that analogy, you brought up the cookie analogy. Let's say somebody did eat the cookies. What are you looking for? What evidence are you looking for to say, Willie, I know you was in that kitchen, man. I know you went in there. It wasn't nobody here but me and you. You saying you didn't eat the cookies, but I know you ate them cookies. I didn't see you eat the cookies, but I know you ate those cookies. How do you prove I ate those cookies?
I put you as the last person with the cookies, right? I looked for the cookie crumbs in your teeth. But to start, I put you in the room with the cookies. No one else was there. It was just you and the cookies. Now the cookies are gone. No one else could have done it.
So it was just you, and it was you and Nolan. You was the last one with Nolan, and Nolan is gone. So wouldn't it be fair for me to assume that you had some type of connection to his disappearance?
Very fair. Very fair. Just don't expect me to admit it, right? But very fair for you to assume it.
Right. Yeah. In regards, I know we're talking about the cell phone, and this is a very critical piece of evidence. Could that cell phone become critical to establishing homicide or eliminating it?
It could. It could. If there's anything on there about what Noah's intentions were, hey, I'm staying behind. Hey, I'm catching the next boat back. Hey, I can't believe Wyatt had an issue with me. Or, of course, I mean, anything could be on there. That's why it's so crucial. I don't know, and I'm dying to know. Again, to the extent it doesn't help, doesn't mean it hurts, right? It could be nothing. It could not, and that's okay. Let's rule it out. But if it does help, it could be crucial because, again, we're still trying to tie it together. So I'm wildly curious. I just want to, I don't want to guess. I want to know, and I want to work with that. Give me something.
If the theory of the case has changed, how likely is it that investigators will interview or re-interview Nolan's friends?
You know, for me, I'm done with the police investigators. At this point, I would weigh on the prosecution. The prosecutor's office has their own investigators on staff. Okay. To the extent that we are not satisfied with law enforcement, we don't need them at this stage. We can send our own investigators out and do interviews, try to gather, tertiary evidence. And to the extent that we are going to use them, then I would look for the prosecutor to dictate to law enforcement, go get this done. Go interview this person. I need this for my prosecution. I need this for this conviction. I need this to charge this person with a crime. Go get me that thing. The law enforcement and the prosecutor's office are supposed to work hand in hand. They're supposed to be able to communicate and coordinate. And if a prosecutor says, you know what, I heard there's a ring camera on a door at Smith Street. Do me a favor, go check that out. They can go do it. So
Well, one of the things that they allegedly did first, before they did anything, before they even went to Nolan's parents' house, they went to the judge's house. Have you heard that audio?
no.
Okay, that's audio. I actually got it on one of the other videos, one of the previous videos. I think it's like maybe 2 or 3 videos down. That's audio where the deputies are on the phone, and they're on the phone and they're talking about going to what's her name, the judge's house. I can't say her name now. Ashley, I think her name is Ashley. No, is it Ashley? Ashley Cole, yeah. So they're talking about going to her house. They're on their way to her house. There's a missing body. There's a person missing. Instead of them going to the family house, they're going to the judge's house. Now, what's that about?
I like that from an evidentiary investigative standpoint for 2 reasons. One, if someone's missing, you need the most crucial, immediate information you can get right now to find that person. If you know someone's missing and you know someone knows something about that person, you don't want there to be a missing person. Going to the family is important because you want them to know, but you also don't want to scare them. You hope to not have a crime on your hands, right? And the family's not going to know where Nolan is, presumably, if he's missing. I want to find this person before it's too late. Now, what they should have done is send 2 units. Send 1 unit to the judge's house, send another unit to Nolan's parents' house. That's what they could have done. I presume there's more than 2 officers in this department. Send 2 squads immediately, 1 to the family, 1 to the source of the information. If I have to pick one, I'm going with the judge because I want to find this person.
What does the judge have to do with, what does the judge have to do with it?
Presumably she's the one that makes the first call to law enforcement, to 911, to inform authorities there's a possible missing person. Now, I don't know what that call was. I don't know that call has come out yet. Presumably it wasn't all inclusive. And even if it was, you want to get more information about this missing person. How do you know that? How do you know someone's missing? What else can you remember? Anything? Well, have you learned anything new since you made the call? They don't know yet that it's going to be a homicide or a death, or it could be little Bobby's hiding in the garbage can, right? All you know is there's a missing person, water's involved. Time is of the essence. Time is so critical in a missing person. If you see the reports and the statistics, the longer a person goes missing, incrementally, the less likely they are to be found in good health. So you got to find that person right away. It's very tough. I mean, again, this is a little bit of Monday morning quarterbacking. They could have gone to the family, and then the argument could have been made, why weren't you spending more time looking for him than going to the family? If the family doesn't know, and now you just worry the family, go find the boy, go find this young man. But they should have had more officers involved simultaneously, because maybe the family does know. Send 2 squads. That would have been the best play.
And I agree with that. If you're going to send somebody to the judge's house, one of them slow pokes in Mississippi should have said, Bob, I think it might be a good idea if we send somebody over to the Walmsley's address, because it's their son that's missing. Wouldn't you want to know if it's your son? Send the boys and send some saying, let's do something, man. Let's get on out there, get your ass on out there and go to the family's house. And don't meet them at no damn McDonald's. You give the judge the courtesy of going to her house and being in the comfort of her house for an investigative meeting to talk about this kid that's missing, but you tell the parents to meet you at McDonald's. You don't go to their house and let them be in. These are the people who potentially have a dead child on their hands. and you tell them meet us at McDonald's, and then when you get there, you drop off a form for them to fill out, and then you take off. The family was the first investigators on the case. The family. They're the ones who went out and searched for Nolan's body first. It wasn't the Coast Guard. It wasn't law enforcement. It was the family. The family of Nolan Wells has been disrespected in this case from its inception. And this underscores how incompetent and corrupt Mississippi officials are. And I mean on all levels. Ain't none of y'all good. All y'all terrible. All of you. Yeah, you got one or two, somebody working in there trying to do well or whatever, but eventually you're going to corrupt them too. So I'm telling you, any of y'all that's working in Mississippi, y'all some officials, and you in law enforcement, you in healthcare, if you're in the judicial system and you really mean well, you better get out, because Mississippi ain't gonna change. It's legendary for being corrupt. It's legendary for being incompetent. It's legendary for having a bunch of mediocre people who think their SHIT don't stink.
Listen, everything you're saying is right. Everything you're saying is right.
If you were representing Nolan's family right now, what's the number one question you're demanding from you're demanding that the prosecutor answer?
If I want them to tell me right now, I know they won't tell me specifics. Tell me generally, what have you done? I'm the family, I'm the parents. I know it's an open investigation. I know all the rhetoric. I know the lines. Give me something to have faith in you that you're doing right by my son. Tell me, what are you expecting in this grand jury? You know, what I'd like to know, what charges are you bringing to the grand jury? Are you bringing homicide charges? Are you bringing tampering charges? Are you bringing something else? What are you bringing? You know, because we are automatically tying a grand jury to a homicide charge. That might not be the case. You know, I think it should be. I think that's where this should be going. We don't know that yet. What charges are you actually bringing? What are you doing? The law enforcement has failed me. The politicians have failed me, right? They failed. No, they failed his family. The federal government is taking a pass right now. They have failed. What are you doing? What are you doing to maintain any hope in the justice system? Show me the justice in the system. Give me some. I'm his mom and dad. Give me something. They can do that.
Yeah, they could, but they're not, because, because like I said, they're corrupt. They and I think they take pride in that corruption. You got to know how y'all been moving, to know Mississippi's reputation. They have done nothing to try to correct people's perception of them, people's negative perception of Mississippi. They have done absolutely nothing to be inviting, nothing, to show that they have progressed, to show evolution. It's sad, bro, because it's all kinds of stuff that happening on the ground in Mississippi. You probably don't know, but they got this, they got a hit right now out on black homeowners, where they're trying to literally steal black homes from underneath its owners. Like literally coming up with all these little legal loopholes and games and stuff that they play to try to steal people's property. Yeah, so I know about that Mississippi. I keep my eyes on y'all. I know what y'all be doing out there. I don't trust y'all. I don't trust none of y'all. None of y'all. All of y'all. You're in the same gang, man. How do you live with yourselves? You're supposed to be better than your ancestors. How you gonna take that rot? See, but that's what happened, man. That's what happened when your blood is poison. That's right, I said it. Prove me wrong, Mississippi. One of y'all officials out there, step up to the plate and show me something different, Mississippi. Who out there? Y'all say y'all decent. you're decent, you're God-fearing people, you're God-loving people, you love community, you love your brother, your sister. Show me. I ain't from Mississippi, but I could easily be from the show me state. Because you got to show me. Action speaks louder than words. Mississippi, where you at? All of you so-called good, decent people. Y'all know what it is. A lot of y'all know exactly what happened to Nolan Wells. Why you ain't came forward? How come you ain't came forward? Yeah.
That's what I said. That's exact. I'm not gonna lie. It was. I'm gonna just say it was 1,000 people on that island, and we know it was more than 1,000 people on that island, bro. So nobody seen nothing. Why ain't nobody came and said, "Look, man, be honest, man. That was not cool. What happened? It might have been an accident. It might have been an accident. Whatever happened, might have been an accident. Look, it was an accident. This what happened, man. Cause I just put out of 1,000 people, or what they said, 1,500 people on that island that day. 1,500 people that day, or 1,000 people that day didn't see anything. It's hard for me to believe that. I'm sorry. It is so hard for me to believe that. Nobody seen nothing. Man, y'all better kill it, bro. Like in GTA, man, y'all better stop it, bro. Stop it, bro. Now, I'm not laughing at Nolan Wells or the situation. I'm laughing because that's just pitiful. The fact that everybody acting like they ain't seen nothing, ain't nobody coming forward. This is a messed up situation, bro.
Came forward because you're not as decent as you would like to think you are. That's why you haven't come forward. Because you're wicked and your blood is poisoned. Yeah.
You about to make me subscribe, man. That's crazy. Pause. I don't love him like all like that. Come on, man. You know, y'all new generation. You gotta say pause to everything. Your blood is poison. He said your blood. He said your blood is poison. Say that then, man.
Anyway,
Uh, no, listen, you're right on. They're doing nothing for their reputation. If anything, they're leaning in on it. I think I've said from the beginning, you don't get a 911 call made unless someone knows something. Sometimes the hardest thing to do in life is the right thing. And that's why it's the right thing. That's why you're supposed to. You step up. A lot of people are hurting here from the family in a very direct to the community, to all of us here watching. Um, Someone's got to step up and do the right thing. I hope the prosecutor is having some success with that, where law enforcement did not. But we need someone, like you said, to hold the banner for what is right and good. Otherwise, it's more of the same.
absolutely. It's more of the same. Well, let's hope, man, we get some changes real soon. We're 2 days away. Actually, we're 1 day away from Nolan's birthday. Yeah, we're less than 24 hours away from his birthday. He would have been 19 years old if somebody hadn't taken his life. He would have been 19 years old. And there's a candlelight visual for him that his parents are holding in his honor. with the entire community and beyond. So make sure that y'all tune in for that. I will be live for that. I'll present that live, and I hope y'all will join me. Thank you, Jack, for joining me again, man. As always, I appreciate your insight.
You're very welcome, my friend. Thank you.
For sure. Ladies and gentlemen, that.
Okay, chat, and that's the end of that, but that's not the end of this stream. I actually just seen some stuff on this dude page. Let's go to his page. You know what? You know what? You know what? Hold on, chat. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to this channel. Make sure y'all like this live stream. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel. Hold on. Let me go check something out for y'all real quick, real brief. I had seen something. It was probably about maybe 10 or 15 minutes long. I wanted to show y'all that he had did on Nolan Wells. I never seen it. Like I said, I'm not even subscribed to his channel. But what he said just dang near made me want to subscribe to his channel. What I did, what he just said, no, let the blood, boy, the blood of Jesus, the blood, yes, baby. But Mississippi is burning. Wait, I'm not supposed to laugh, bro. Wait, 918 sister. Man, you crazy. She Oh my God, God forgive me. I don't know if I'm supposed to laugh at that or not. What do you mean Mississippi is burning? Like they burning? Like the people out there are burning? Like itching and scratching, burning? Like they burning? Wait a minute. Wait, man. Wait. Wait a minute. You mean to tell, wait, they burning? Like like they itching and scratching, like burning? Like, what do you mean? Tell me what do you mean? I need you to tell me what you mean. Huh? Can you make sure you subscribe to my channel? If you want more great content, tune in to my channel. What do you mean Mississippi is burning? What do you mean in GTA? In GTA? I'm trying to see. What do you mean? 918 sister. What do you mean by that? Yeah, but you guys, I am tuned into this Nolan Wells situation. I don't like what's going on with this young. I mean, I don't like what happened to this young black man. Genuinely, I don't like. I don't like the whole situation. Like, I just don't like what's going on. And it seemed like they just don't care out there. They don't care about what's going on with this young man. They really don't. They really don't care what's going on with this young black man. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me go to. Okay, so like I said, to end this live stream off, y'all make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and we gonna always keep good vibes. And it's the GS3 report. And I'm here to give you some news that you can use. And you can always use. Here to give you the news that you can use. And chat, okay. Okay. So I just want to show y'all this. Okay. Where are you? Okay, okay, dang. Okay, well look. It is like it's like I don't even say it's like it's 16 minutes long. Um all right, hold on. Okay. So chat. Chat, talk to me, I talk back. Just don't talk too fast. Do y'all want to get into the rest of this? Because if not, we can just end stream. We can just end stream like that, and I'm gonna do this reaction I want to do and drop this content. Cause I got 3 videos I want to drop today. One is on this Nolan Wells situation, and the other two is what was the other video? There was a few videos I wanted to drop. Yeah, I got a few videos I want to drop. At least like 2 or 3. So yeah, I'm gonna show y'all this video and then I'm gonna end stream. Let's get into it. Nolan Wells' friends launch official speaking tour. I mean, he dropped this 2 days ago, but it was just something I wanted to show my live stream.
Willie D Live.
What's up, family? There are no tickets,
I'm
no
gonna skip a
tour
little bit
dates,
for y'all.
no official announcements that says Nolan Wells friends coming to a city near
Wait.
you.
Oh my god.
However,
Okay, Chad, we not about to watch that. I thought he was gonna show like, okay, oh man. I wonder. All right, let's do this. We gotta do this because I don't want to get copyrights. I don't. I wonder if we could watch.
Boo the
I
hole on
wonder.
coochie. That's all he gonna do. Boo the hole on coochie.
I wonder if we can watch TikTok on. I wonder if we could watch TikTok. I wonder if we can watch TikTok on here without getting copyrights. Why you say that, Don? Why you say that? What you think about the copyright thing too, huh? Me too. That's what I was thinking. what you think about the copyright thing? Cause that's what I was thinking too. Because like I was telling them, I was streaming before, and I had went to a short. It was just a short on Instagram. I mean on YouTube. It was a short, a YouTube short, and I clicked on it, and I watched a few other things and all that, and I had got a copyright for one of the shorts. So I'm just trying to figure out like I'm trying to figure out if they'll copyright me for watching somebody YouTube channel. I mean for watching somebody TikTok. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to figure it out, bro. I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, let me see. Maybe maybe I should. That's crazy, bro. Okay, maybe I should. Maybe I'm gonna just let y'all listen. I'm gonna just let y'all listen then. I'm gonna just let y'all listen then, bro. I'm gonna just let y'all listen. I'm gonna just let y'all listen. Hold on. She got some new stuff she just dropped. This is new. It's actually three new things she just dropped. Two new things.
This, they banned my main account. Just happened.
Oh, look, they
Well,
keep
if
banning her.
well, if you
They
guys are
keep
seeing
banning her
well,
accounts and
if you
stuff.
guys are seeing this, they
They keep banning her accounts. Wait, so they done banned her main account again? Oh wow. She keep finding stuff
well,
out.
if you guys are seeing this, they banned my main account. Just happened. Yep. Well, if you guys are seeing this, they banned my main account. Just happened. Yep. Well, all right, after this, I'm probably going to take a couple days off because my brain needs a rest after the last couple of days. Now we know for sure that there was storage in the bow of the boat. All right, so now at this point, I am pretty sure that the Triton was there all day. They didn't switch out the boats. And I'm also pretty certain at this point that this is a real video because there's one single frame where you can see Bart's boat and you can also see the toes of somebody like dangling them off the water. So if the picture or video were AI, it would be a really bizarre thing for it to just kind of throw in. But there's zero question in my mind that this video has been altered. So then the question becomes, why would they alter this video? And the only thing that logically makes sense to me is to alter the identity of the two girls. Because if Carter is the boy in red, Wyatt is the boy in the American shorts, Bart's brother Brooke being the one in the navy blue shorts, and then Ike being the one in the teal shorts, then We've got Warren up here with somebody in this red striped swimsuit and the girl in the teal swimsuit with the backwards hat. So in this picture, this would be Brooks, this would be Ike, this would be Wyatt, this would be Warren, which would leave this to be Carter. Now, whoever this is seems to be very cuddly with Carter. Like too cuddly, in my opinion, for it to be like a mother or a family member. Thinking about it a lot from the timeline that we have been told, and what we haven't really been factoring in again is the party. Because remember, Warren said he went to the party, but instead of talking with all of his friends, he went upstairs to go talk with his girlfriend's dad. Now, those families are tight. So if that dad of Ava, if that conversation with the dad didn't happen, then they would automatically know that they were lying. So I've been saying for a while that the girl was somehow involved. And mind you, everybody's back on land now. They're getting ready to do the fireworks and everybody's swimming and drinking still, blah, blah, blah. So what's the excuse for no pictures at that party? They've explained it all away during the day, but at this point, they're all just being teenagers and having fun again, right? So I'm thinking that the brunette girl is Ava, the girl whose house they went to. And she's pretty close with Warren and the Pyrone family.
And they're full speed running. And then after that, I didn't see them anymore. I think you were on the boat. You start from there?
Yeah, so after we planed off, Wyatt kept the boat pinned the whole way in. We ran into the mouth of Fort Bayou, where we came from originally. And we turned into Fort Bayou, went in the channel, ran probably 500, 600 yards into Fort Bayou. Wyatt had jumped out of the boat, put the plug back in the boat so access water. So water didn't keep pushing and filling back the boat.
According to their own words, they went into the mouth and then they turned and they went about 500-600 feet. Now, mind you, the party house is right around, but they go past it and then loop back around. However, Warren just admitted that at some point they had to stop and Wyatt jumped in. And even then, you heard him stuttering over the story. Like, it wasn't a smooth transition. Because I think they dropped her off. Which would explain why they would go back to this party, because obviously they can't cancel the party. That looks really suspicious. Then, my theory has always been that the guys all, like, broke off and, like, talked to the parents about what was going on. And that's when they formulated their whole, we'll call her and then we'll call the Coast Guard plan. Remember, she is related. Somehow I can't figure out, but she is related through marriage to the lieutenant that wrote up the very initial report we've seen. Because remember how Morgan claimed that the picture of the boat stuff was circulating around Snapchat and stuff, even though Christine didn't post it to her Facebook page until the next day. Listen to this.
His mom was, what was he wearing? And so we were trying to remember what color his shorts were. We couldn't quite figure that out.
I said black.
Yeah, I think we said black.
I really did. He was wearing navy blue shorts?
Yeah, it was like dark blue shorts.
Dark. I just said black because I was trying to piece everything together and help out.
And so at this point, we're freaking out. We don't know where our friend's at. And
the girl that took...
How y'all didn't know what color shorts he had on when y'all been with this man all day? All day. And you don't remember what color shorts he had on? You gonna say black? And how can you get black mixed up with light blue? I don't get that. How did you get black mixed up with light blue? How did you get black mixed up with light blue is what I'm trying to figure out. That's crazy, bro.
The picture, she was like, okay, well, I just took this picture of today. This is what color swim trunks he was wearing. And his mom asked for that to post on Facebook to say, if you've seen him, whatever, this is what he was wearing.
So remember, the girl who took the picture with the digital camera was on Wyatt's boat at the beginning of the day and then was there with them at night when they were having this discussion. So she had to have been there at the beginning and at the party at the very least. Then we remembered that the original shorts picture, well, that wasn't the color of his shorts, as we now know. So we also know for a fact that this picture did not get sent to Christine until July 5th, meaning that they had to have had that picture and then not sent it to her for hours. Because they also said this.
And so that's what we sent to her, or that's what she sent to her, because we were just trying.
So they corrected themselves. He said, we sent it. No, she sent it. On July 5th, Christine said that they have been up for almost 48 hours straight, and then the very next post above it are the same pictures but better quality. Why did it take so long to get these pictures to them? Oh, and y'all, now that I said that, I realize, so all of these pictures had to come from the same digital camera, right? Meaning this picture did as well. And since I've already proven that this picture had used AI to do something weird because, there was no little bar here, only explanation for using AI on just this little part would be to obscure the reflection that was in this poll of the person who was taking the video. Or the pictures. Oh my God, yes. That makes sense. Love it when I figure that stuff out in real time for you on camera. So it makes sense to me that this photo video thing was altered to cover up this girl's swimsuit. Because let's face it, this swimsuit is the ugliest thing. It has supposedly sleeves and it's a tankini, but it goes in a weird cut, but it's ugly. It's ugly and it's clearly not what these debutante beauty queen girls are wearing to a 4th of July beach party. So I'm 70% sure that this is Ava. Oh wait, oh my God. Wait a second. Shown y'all guys before that there's 4 boats out here, this little cluster, right? But I'm looking at these weird pink lumps and stuff at the front of the boat, Bart's boat here. Is that a pile of life vests? Because I'm realizing there's not 20, 30 people on all of these boats. I'm seeing 10, 12 people here tops. Let's not forget what a full house looks like on these boats. Because even in this video at the meetup place, there's not 20, 30 people getting ready to get on these boats. I mean, the boat left at 9:56 according to the GPS. We got 7, 8 people here, 6 people here. And also, if they were legitimately needing to be towed and they were trying to get the water to run off, why are they all spread out on the boat? Why are they on the boat in general? Why didn't they just get off on land or get on another boat? Trying to get the boat to tip up and go planing, why do you have over half the boat on the front of the boat? These are experienced fucking fishermen. They know better than that. Yeah, I can't believe I've never thought of that before. If the boat was sinking, why are they even on the fucking boat? Yeah, and if it was so common and so easy to get, rides back with other people, strangers on Horn Island, why did they need to load everybody on the boat? Why were they yelling at Nolan to get on the boat? They didn't need to get him on the boat. And now that I'm looking at this, doesn't it look like Warren is on the phone? Could this have been when he was calling his mom 8 times? Also, one more thing that stuck out to me.
We called law enforcement. I was with Wyatt at the time after we left Jackson's house that night. I was with Wyatt, and one person we were with saw that their location was headed towards Wyatt's house. And so Wyatt got on the phone with 911 and was like, hey, these people are on the way to my house or already at my house. My mom and my dad are there alone, and they know nothing about this.
He stumbled over his words from beginning to end in that story, so I don't believe any of it. But the one thing that sticks out to me was the phrasing, they don't know anything about this. If people are heading over to your house, why wouldn't you call your mom and dad before you called 911? Because it sounded like he was trying to keep his parents out of the loop of this story, which as a teenage boy implies that you have something to hide. Just a lot of different things to think about, right? All right, after this, I'm probably going to take a couple days off because my brain needs a rest. Katie dry snitched on those boys and y'all didn't even notice. Let me break it down for you because here we've got the Snapchats from Katie, right? You're gonna notice her teal swimsuit. Right here, we're gonna notice a striped swimsuit. In this video from the 3 boats.
Okay, we're gonna do this one and then hold on.
Not only have I found
Okay.
Katie dry snitched on
We're gonna do
those
this one. We're gonna do this one, and then we're gonna do one more, and then we're gonna end stream chat, and I'm gonna spark back up because I wanted to do the Rakai and Yana situation, um, or uh or that other situation too. Well, I'm gonna decide if it's gonna be the Rakai and Yana situation I'm gonna stream about, or this other situation with Ben and Don. Okay, let's see what's going on though.
boys and y'all didn't even notice. Let me break it down for you because here we've got the Snapchats from Katie, right? You're gonna notice her teal swimsuit. Right here, we're gonna notice a striped swimsuit. In this video from the 3 boats, you're gonna see Bart's boat, and in this corner you're gonna see a girl in a striped swimsuit right here, and then right next to her with the same hair is a girl in a teal blue swimsuit. Katie is on Bart's boat in this picture. But wait, they tried to be real clever playing with the lighting on this. Hopefully you got your brightness turned all the way up, because you'll notice Katie is wearing a white hat. Now here we've got the picture from the tow, right? Teal swimsuit, white hat. Oh, but that's not all. Again, hope you've got your brightness turned all the way up, because here we've got somebody in red swim trunks. Oh, and would you look at that? Red swim trunks. Here he is on the shore next to Nolan after the fight with Tristan. Now, I'm getting mass reported, by the way, so my page might disappear any second. Y'all remember the fight video? In the background, I found a man who looks suspiciously like Grandpa Jerry. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it is him. I'm just saying. Seems to have a very unique, pectoral shape. And obviously this picture is from a couple years ago, because there's Wyatt. But I am not done, folks, because the same time she dropped these Snapchats, she said that she allegedly got a ride with someone named Marty McGrath between 5:34 and 5:44. Oh, and wouldn't you know it, the co-owner of the Biloxi Bay RV Resort and Marina in St. Martin is co-owned by a man named Marty McGrath. Here's the marina, and here's how far away it is from his buddy's grandparents' house, the one they went back and forth to like 4 or 5 times after they came in. But you may also remember from the report that after leaving the grandparents' house, the boat came southwest towards St. Martin's Bayou. Well, there's St. Martin, so I'm gonna assume that this is the bayou. Now, would this happen to be a Marty McGrath Jr.? Or was it the actual Marty McGrath? Mind you, it took 45 minutes for them to make it back from the grandparents' house to the boat launch. Mind you, that the boat ramp is in the opposite direction, only 6 minutes away on land. Katie girl, it's over. Katie, you're young. You haven't learned this yet, but these aren't your fucking friends. They are literally not worth fucking protecting, okay? Because they've all coordinated their stories, girl. You are gonna be the fall person. Do you want this to follow you around forever, or do you want to be a fucking hero? Katie. Not only have I found more evidence of a 4th boat, not only have I found a lie in their timeline, but I have also discovered a deep political connection, not only to a former governor of Mississippi, but to Turning Point USA. So first off, this picture has surfaced in which it's clearly the group of boats a little bit further out in the water altogether. Now here's what is supposedly Bart's boat. We can see the Garmin on top. We can confirm this black boat from this other picture. We can see Wyatt's Triton right here, and we can confirm that by the motor. As you can see right here, has that black stripe on the white motor. Now in between the 2 boats is the Palm Beach. You can clearly see it labeled, and it's got that stripe, right? As you can see, the stripe is there. And yet there's this design right here and no Palm Beach. And you may be like, Jay, that doesn't prove that it's a different boat. Maybe we just can't see it, even though it should be right there according to this picture. But if you look in this video, you can see that there is a black propeller right there. See black propeller, and you can very clearly see the Palm Beach right there on the side. And if you look really carefully in this photo, you can see right there a black propeller. There's another boat on the other side of these 3 boats. And given the lack of the name on the boat and the black propeller, I'm going to assume the Palm Beach is on the other side, which means there's 4 boats right here. Then I rewatched Warren's interview.
And I woke up at my buddy's house, and we went to McDonald's, got food. No one was not with me. And I went and got breakfast. I had my buddy's boat hooked up to my truck. And, well, first I ran to my house, then I went to McDonald's and came back. And the boat was already hooked up to my truck. My buddy Wyatt and I went, and with my buddies, we went, filled the top of the boat off, loaded it down with ice, and just got everything ready. Then Wyatt went and put his smaller boat in the water, which is the Palm Beach. He's an 18-foot Palm Beach, and I drove the boat from 4 Bayou boat launch to my buddy's grandparents' house, and that's where we all planned to meet up that day.
So Wyatt had his buddy's boat already hooked up to the back of his truck. He said he and Wyatt and his other buddy went and got ice and filled up the boats. And Wyatt went and put the Palm Beach, his smaller boat, into the water. And we know that there was a second boat, the Triton, that was driven by Wyatt. Wyatt had 2 boats in the water. Who was driving his other boat?
Nolan was on Wyatt Pyron's 22 Triton. On the way out, I went with my buddy Bart, because we had a lot of friends from college coming down, and I called Bart that morning. I was like, hey, man, can you take your boat out? And he was like, yeah, well, my dad's decided not to go, and I'll take the boat, and I'll take you and your friends. Of course, I mean, he's a buddy of mine. And so Bart pulled up at the dock, and, I mean, I rode out there with Bart, and a lot of the girls that go to college with my friends and I, and Nolan rode out on the Triton, and then we had a Palm Beach, 18 Palm Beach. There was 4 guys on that. There was like 8 people on the Triton, and then there was 8 or 9 people on the Triton, and then there was the rest of the group, which was probably ranged from maybe 10 to 15 or 16 people.
Now, wait a minute. So Warren already had a boat hooked up when he woke up that morning. I'm assuming that that had to be the Triton that was hooked up, right? Then he said that Wyatt went and put his smaller boat, the Palm Beach, into the water. Then Warren said that he was the one who drove the Palm Beach to their friend's dock. Assuming that Wyatt drove the Triton to the dock and Bart drove his own boat to that dock, who drove the Palm Beach out to the water then? Because he said that he got a ride in with Bart, even though at one point during the interview he said all of his stuff was on the Palm Beach. So it sounds to me like Warren was the one driving the Palm Beach. I'm also like, what parent would let their kid, who's obviously going off to party, take 2 of their boats and let their drunk friends drive? Like, it isn't making sense to me. I mean, maybe these parents are just shitty parents and irresponsible. Then he also said that he contacted Bart that morning to see if he could come, and Bart was like, yeah, I can give all your friends a ride, blah, blah, blah. According to him, there were 10-ish people, 15 people on that boat. So where were those people originally supposed to ride in on? They'd been planning it for weeks. They were excited about it. Why did Bart have to suddenly step in and take all these people? And remember, Bart said that his dad had canceled going out on the boat that day, so he could do it. Something's not adding up here. I think there was an adult somewhere in this mix. It would also explain how they all thought quickly on their feet with the sea tow. I wouldn't be surprised if an adult didn't come out there and just go off with other adults that were also on Horn Island and let the kids hang out with the boat. Here's where things are going to get interesting, folks. There are more GPS coordinates in the report than what we have seen publicly. I'm going to play you a clip from the interview, but remember, at 5:30 is when they started picking up regular speed, all right? It's right here, 525, speed miles, 30 to 35 knots. So here we go.
Planed off and you have water in the boat and you're hauling, we're going pretty fast. We're going probably 40, 42 miles an hour. And so all that excess water that was built up in the boat is coming out of the boat. So, I mean, that's what we had to do. So we ran into Fort Bayou, and we didn't just run straight to my buddy's grandparents' house. We ran into Fort Bayou. A couple of us jumped in the water, and Wyatt, the whole reason for the stop was so Wyatt could hop in and put the plug back in the boat. So then after that, we went and docked it, and I went back to my buddy's house, and we ate and napped for a little bit. It was a long day at the islands.
Now you heard him. He said that they took off going 40 miles an hour, and they didn't go to his buddy's grandparents' house, but they went to Fort Bayou to go do a plug thing. Except right here, 5:44, vessel arrives at El Camino Road. 8 minutes later, then it departs from El Camino Road and headed east into Fort Bayou. So right there we have a lie. The boat did stop before going into Fort Bayou. 6 minutes later, it comes back to El Camino Road, and the vessel departed El Camino Road half an hour later, headed southwest to St. Martin Bayou, and then turned southeast into Biloxi Bay Bridge. Then they went back to the Bayou boat launch. Then the boat was taken to Cardinal Lane, which was Wyatt's residence. Now, because I am an absolute genius, I was able to find it. This was where they left and where they came back that day, then came back several times. Now, first off, why aren't we seeing footage of them returning that day? We know that Nolan was with them when they left, so why do they have the security cams from that morning, but not that night? Whose grandparents live there? Jax Patalo, whose family owns a pharmacy. It goes back deeper than that because George Patalo Sr., which is Jax's great-grandfather who is deceased, as it turns out, his great-grandfather was appointed and served on the staff of Mississippi Governor Cliff Finch. As you can see, I've confirmed Jax's relation to him. And as it turns out, Cliff Finch, well, he was in the Mississippi House of Representatives from 1960 to 1964 and supported racial segregation and backed the racist governor, to preserve segregation in the state. The federal grand jury conducted a 3-year-long investigation into his administration and several state agencies, and they were all accused of corruption and mismanagement. Finch was never found guilty himself, but some of his aides and appointees were indicted. And those sort of political connections seem to trickle down through the generations, so now we know why the governor got involved. And I started looking into the lawyer that's handling the defamation case from the Bart family. So from 2015 to 2018, he was state director of Americans for Prosperity. Then in 2018 to 2020, he was vice president of Stand Together, while being vice president of Americans for Prosperity. Stand Together is a Charles Koch nonprofit, and Americans for Prosperity is a libertarian conservative political advocacy group affiliated with Charles Koch and David Koch. And if you don't know who the Koch brothers are, they're fucking evil. Guess who's one of the major funders for Turning Point USA? Major donors for the Koch brothers also are primary financial pillars for Turning Point USA, specifically their campus operations. And guess who used to serve as the director of urban engagement? Not only have I found more evidence of a fourth boat, not only have I...
Okay, chat. Y'all see how she just broke that down for y'all. Y'all see how she just broke that down for y'all, right? Y'all see that, right? You back? You back, cuz? You back, cuz? Okay, cuz. My boy, my boy Gio back. My boy Gio back. Gio, what up, gang? I'm back. Okay, so like I said, what we about to do is, oh man, you know you man, come on, man. Some thighs right here, man. Okay, hold on, chat. I gotta finish making my food. Hold on. Right. Chat, I ain't went nowhere, chat. You know What up, chat? Yeah, chat, I'm back, man. You know, we got them good eats. Bro, we got them good eats. So, chat. So, chat, what I was trying to tell y'all was that, basically, what I was trying to tell y'all was that, okay, so basically, okay, chat. So, basically, what did y'all want to do? Chat. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay, because, because what I was gonna do was I was gonna I was gonna do the blue face stream. Um, I was gonna end this stream and do the blue face stream. That's what I was gonna do, chat. Now we only got 3 viewers, 4. So chat. Oh yeah, man, chat this that shit. Hold on. No, real talk, chat. What y'all wanna do? Huh? No, hold on. What y'all wanna do, chat? Well, we gonna come back. I'll be back. I'll be back after these messages with another live stream. It's the GS3 report. I'm here to give you some news that you can use, and I don't want you to abuse. And we'll be back with another live stream, you guys. And we'll be back with another live stream. And in just a little in just a little minute, we'll be back with another live stream, you guys. I'm not playing though. I'm not even joking. Or nothing like that. So just know we really is coming back with another live stream. So yeah. All right, Chaz, the GS3 report, and I'll be back with another live stream, you guys. See ya.